I take the issues a little more seriously than you do here. No,
Yes,
I'd also like to preference this. The fourth quarter in this game, it was mostly dominated by the younger players, the more
absolutely.
inexperienced players.
Yep.
Now, when I'm about to go into, it does not, like, we're excluding them being in and excluding the fact that they dominated the fourth quarter.
Yes.
So this game, the 76ers had a total of 26 turnovers. 26 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look up what the records are for a team in a single game for turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
the 10th option for that is 29. Like,
Yeah.
we were 3 away from being on that list.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the turnovers, it was the fouls too.
Yeah.
It was just nonstop fouls. There was one here, it might have been the first quarter, the second quarter, but it was just back and forth every time down the court. We were trading with the Pacers for about 10 possessions. It was a foul every single time. It ended in a foul no matter what happened on the court. These fouls combined with the turnovers, just like I'm talking about the Eagles, it's undisciplined.
Yeah.
It's undisciplined. And even though it's preseason, I think that's going to continue in the regular season, because one of my biggest hopes with Doc Rivers was that he was going to put an emphasis on turnovers.
Uh-huh.
Because the entire time Brett Brown was here, the team was in the upper part of the league, bad side of it, for turnovers. And I really thought that trend would kind of go away or get better. And it doesn't look like there's any emphasis on it. It doesn't look like this problem's going to get fixed.
Yeah. No. I mean, like you said, I was going to bring it up. This is not a new problem we've had. We've had it for a while, and we saw it last year. And I remember thinking last year it was ridiculous, and we're seeing it now. And to think if this problem wasn't changed over the off season, or at least in the training that we've had leading up to these preseason games, that I don't see. There's no switch. Like we're not just going to go like, oh, the regular season games, let's not turn the ball over now. Like, it's still going to happen. And it's ridiculous. I think it's the product of having a young team. To give a little bit of anecdote, I played college roller hockey last season, and I remember telling you stories about this. But when you're younger and put in a position, under the lights, asked to perform, sometimes you try to do things that are out of your skill level. And I know that I certainly made passes that I really shouldn't have made, and those led to turnovers. So I don't, and the reason I bring it up is because I can't reckon what it is. I don't know. Like, we've had this problem for so long, and it's so obvious. Like, this isn't like the coaches have to know, the players have to know, everybody has to know. So at my point, it's gone from recognizing that we have a problem is no longer it. We have to get to solving this thing. It's not just like, oh, well, we put up another game where we had like 20 plus turnovers. No, it's we keep putting up games where we have 20 plus turnovers, and then it's like it just, when I try to wrap my head around it, I just don't understand. And the only connection I can make is that we have a young team, and I'm hoping Doc Rivers can do something with it. I really do. But at this point, I think it's just inherent within our players, because they are relatively younger, that this is a problem.
I mean, it being a problem for a while, a lot of that time, some of these young players that we have been that problem year after year.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, all the good things that he does put aside, he turns the ball over a lot. And so does Embiid. I mean, Embiid didn't even play in this game. Let's be real. If he played in this game, we would have been over 30 turnovers. We would have been on that top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they just turn over the ball so much. And it's tough to win games when your opponent is not only getting well more fast breaks than you are,
Mm-hmm.
but when your opponent is out shooting you by like 20 some shots a game. Even if you're shooting better than them,
Yeah.
It is so difficult to win a game when they're doing that.
Yeah. If you get a team that can capitalize on that, it's just game over. I mean, we're gonna lose every game. You know, and that's worrying because like this is I'm willing to say that this is probably the biggest problem the team has right now, um, and we're getting lucky. We've gotten lucky with people not capitalizing on it, but we can't bank on that for a win. Like a win should be, it has to be controlled by you. You have to have. It's not like oh well they didn't do this so we won. You know, you have to. It I don't like leaving the fate of our season and our games up to the opposing team not doing something. It should be us actively doing something. We should be trying to control our future. Like we should be controlling the outcome of the game, not like nudging the outcome of the game and hoping and banking on the other team not taking advantage of your mistakes. Like just correct the mistake. It's been here for years. You know, it's kind of worrying because if it goes on for longer, I'm worried it's going to become into a habit. Because, like you said, you know, some of the newer players that we have, they've been here for years. You know, and now that we've seen that season after season, you know, basketball isn't just shooting and defense. You know, and I feel like there's always emphasis, like you know, shot percentage. You know, work on your shot, work on your defense. But you know, you know, it's scary that this is even a possibility that we might just be losing every game because it's not because we're allowing the opponents to take more shots, not because our defense is bad, but because we can't hold on to the ball.
And you know, like what happens in the season or the postseason, especially, what happens when we run into like the Heat or we run into the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't win that game. Like we beat the Pacers by 6. If we run into one of those teams and have 20 plus turnovers, we're not going to win by 6. We're going to lose by 30.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a completely different discussion here rather than like us talking about the good things. It's going to be all bad.
Yeah.
You know, there's not going to be highlights from that game for us. It's going to be all bad. And with everything we've discussed about this game, honestly, it was one of the most disgusting, boring games I've ever watched. It
Uh,
sucked.